Magic friends!
Hello.
Today's trick really is a doozy because you can take it apart and use pieces of it that you like in your existing routines if they solve any problems for you. So without further ado, let's get into the performance. You spread the cards out for your spectator and you tell them to touch the back of a card. Then you tell them to do the same thing another 3 times, making a total of 4 cards. This is a free selection. There's no forcing involved in this process. Then you take the cards, you put them one side and you say, do you know what the most important card is? And they will always say it's the ace. Then you say, no, it's not. It's actually the king. The king is the most important card. That's why they're called the king of cards. And no matter which card they touch, they manage to touch a king. That's not all though. You show them the kings face up on the pack, as clear as day. You take the kings one at a time. You say the king of hearts. You do this. And then the king of hearts vanishes. Believe it or not, let's try it with a spade. Do this, then the king of spades vanishes. That's weird. Let's try it with a diamond. You know what happens, the king of diamonds is gone. Now the king of clubs is different. I'm going to take the king of clubs like this. Watch him now. See, I take him on the table and I do this and then he's gone. Now obviously the 4 kings ended up back in the pack of cards. Back in the pack. So I'll separate them, but you'll notice that there is another card next to the 4 kings. Wouldn't it be incredible if the 4 kings could find the other 4 most important cards in the pack? That's why they're the king of cards. Let's stop wasting time and get into the tutorial. Okay, the setup for this trick is very easy. 4 kings on the bottom and 4 aces on top. Simple as that. Now, it's split into 2 moves. The first move is a switch. There is no force. It's a genuine free choice, but then you switch it at the end. You get a break. Okay, we'll just deal with the first move, the kings that are on the bottom. You get a break above the 4 kings, like so. And you push past the 4 aces and then you tell them to touch the back of any card. Okay, make sure you push past the 4 aces. If you leave it like this, you don't really give them many other options. It's very easy. Then you keep pushing, you say, now touch the back of another card. They choose another one and you're holding the break the entire time. You keep doing that till you have 4 cards. Okay, and you leave them out jogged like that. Remember, you've got the break at the back there. You grab all the cards like this with the thumb and index finger and you pull all the cards that are underneath the break with your finger, all the kings, underneath these 4 cards, and you grab all of them at the top together, all of the cards at the top together, and you strip it out and you turn the deck because it makes it a little easier to turn the deck, and you pull the cards out like this. Now you've still got a break by the kings. You tap the one side as if you're squaring the cards, and then you grab all the cards above the break and tap the sides like that, and you would have switched out for the 4 kings. So let's go through it again. You hold the 4 kings in a break at the bottom. You tell them to select any 4 cards after pushing past the aces, and they select 4 cards like this by touching the back. Then you square up the deck, you grab the deck with these 2 fingers, you pull these cards underneath those cards, and you hold them all at the top, and you strip out the cards holding the break. Then you tap the side or the top end of the deck, you grab these cards, and then tap the side of the deck. And all it looks like is that you're squaring the pack. All of the moves have got a psychological motivation. Big word. Now, let's go through it again at speed. So you'll tell them, okay, touch the back of a card, touch the back of another card, touch the back of another card, and a 4th card. Then while you're talking, you do it in the offbeat at speed. And then it looks like all you were doing is squaring the pack. You put it down to give it a bit of like timed misdirection, they call it, where you leave it a bit, you leave it a while so they can't think about exactly what happened. And then you talk about the aces and the kings and the difference, and that the kings are more important, and you show them the kings. Now we will go into how to vanish the kings one at a time. Now you've got the kings out of the pack, and you know that the 4 top cards are the 4 aces. Okay, so you put the kings face up on the pack and you square them, and then you spread them out until you eyesight 4 cards that you hold onto, which are the 4 aces. You hold onto with these fingers underneath, and you keep spreading. Then when you close the pack off, the 4 aces get closed off like this, and you hold a break amongst all of them. So first of all, you spread them. You see 4 cards, you put your fingers underneath them, and then you spread a few more. Don't only spread 4, because then it might be obvious what you're doing. You spread a few more, and then when you close it, all you do is you make sure you hold a break between the 4 aces and the kings, and you close it like that and hold a break. Okay, then you strip out the first king. You just pull it out like this off the top, pulling the 4 aces with it. You cover it and you say, look, it's gone. You spread the kings over one at a time, and then the face down cards, now because you've got 3 kings, you can spread over 3 cards without exposing that king that's been vanished. So you spread over like this and you say, look, the first king has vanished. Then you square them up again, and when you square them up, you square them above these 3 cards. As you square them above these 3 cards. Now you pull off one again. Do the same thing, do the move, and you say, now that one's vanished. Now, because you've only got 2 kings face up, you can only pull off 2 cards. Otherwise, you'd flash that king. So you pull off 2 cards, you say, the second card's vanished. You do the same thing for the 3rd king, pulling off that ace. Cover it, you do that, and now because you've only got 1 face-up card, you can only strip off 1 card like this. Then you put that card back. I like to do an Erdonase type vanish where I pull out the top card, push it over, and then I reach and I pretend while I'm pushing this in with this finger, I pretend I'm palming it, but I actually just push it in with that finger and I put it on the table like that. And then that's when I do a Charlier pass and cut all the kings into the middle as the card vanishes, so that their eyes are over there while I'm doing the cut. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, that's fine. You can do a normal Erdonase cut color change, which you should know by now, where you push the card up a little bit like this. Then with this part of your hand, you pull out the next card so that it just clears that card. And then as you're pushing it over, you push this card down so that it's flush with the pack again, and then you can say, okay, it's vanished. That's the Erdonase color change. Then you can either do an invisible turnover pass to get the cards into the middle. I won't teach you that now, we don't have time. Or you can simply cut the pack. It's up to you, doesn't matter. Still just as impressive. Then when you spread the cards out, because of the way you've done it, the aces will already be there. But just remember that the king on top needs to keep the card above him, and the king on the bottom needs to keep the card above him, and you split the pack at that point. And then you'll notice that it looks very pretty, that there's a card in between each king, and you can show them that each card is actually an ace, and that's why they're the king of cards. Pretty cool. Wow, that took so long. The seasons actually changed. But all I'm saying to you here is, please, you don't have to do the routine exactly the way I explained it there. The routine is based on 2 moves that I learned that I thought were awesome. The first move, the switch, is actually a Dave Vernon move, and then the second move where each of the kings vanish. I'm not sure exactly where that came from, but I think it's an old principle that's been revised. But you don't have to do the trick in that way. All I'm saying to you is I will teach you complete routines that you can go out and use. Now and again I might teach you an interesting move, but the move isn't the trick, okay? But you can pick apart moves out of my routines that you think are cool. Say for instance, you think the vanishing is cool and you want to vanish the 4 aces, or you want to vanish each one of the spectators' cards one at a time and make each one of their cards appear with an ace in between them. That's another idea you could use. So there are many ideas you could use. Even with the switch, you could switch it out for the spectators cards. You could have, you know, a whole bunch of different ideas. Please make your own songs. Take the notes and make your own music.
You can do it, it's all up to you, okay? With a little plan, you can change your life today.